And a jolly good early evening hello from the old town of Nuremberg, or Nuremberg Old Town, or Altstadt. It's about 6 p.m. in the evening, and it's a Tuesday evening, and people are going about their business here in the old town. Many just going home from work, I guess, and a fair few tourists about too. But it's my first time to Nuremberg, so I'm just going to take a little wander around here this evening, see what there is here right in the centre for over the next couple of days, in conjunction with coming here specifically to see some bands, to also have a little look around at this part of Bavaria and Germany, and see what there is to offer. But as is usually the case with old German towns, the best place to start is in the old town itself. So here I am, let's have a little wander about and see what we see today. There's certainly plenty of stalls here right in the very centre by the Lorenz Kirche, which is this fine building here. And lots of opportunities to grab something to eat, which I'm sure I'll be doing as the evening progresses. In fact, another good place to start when you get to the old town of any old town here in Germany, or indeed anywhere else, is to find that tourist map. So you've got an idea of precisely where you are in relation to various sites that there are to see. And Lorenzerplatz. That's the church I just mentioned. Seems to be a little bit of development going on just in this particular part of the old town, with some either renovations or new stuff going up. If it's going to be looking like that when it's finished, then I guess trying to have it look similar to the other buildings in the old town rather than some modern stuff. There's a bit of a hodgepodge and a mixture, actually, if you have a look around. I mean, my initial thoughts here, at least, anyway. Just going to do what I tend to do in the event of being in old towns in European cities, is start at the beginning and kind of do a spiral working my way out, because they do tend to be rounded. Roads do tend to be a little bit higgledy-piggledy. This isn't a particularly great bit here. Einbahnstrasse. What I am liking here actually is the quite laid back vibe, cobbled streets, and the fact it's either completely pedestrianised or semi-pedestrianised, not lots of cars and so on whizzing about, which always adds a certain level of calmness to a place, I think, where people can actually sit outside cafes such as this, have a drink without getting a lungful of vehicle fumes while they're at it. So I've not quite worked it out yet. It seems to me that the old towns appears to be split into two halves on each side of the river, which runs through the centre of the city. So I'm just trying to sort of work that out now, really. I'm presuming I'll come to the river down here. So I'm going downhill. I'm going to continue down here actually, and then start that kind of spiral, if you like. I was expecting a river to be there for some reason. It must be over there. I can see some bars and so on, people looking over the edge there. Yeah, must be it. And of course, my golden rule for all walking tours and wanders, random and aimless wanders around places I've never been to before, is if I see the almost guaranteed Irish pub, I have to walk down that street and walk towards it, and there it is. Luckily, on this occasion, O'Shea's Irish pub, restaurant and beer garden is in the direction that seemed the right direction to be going in. And just come up to the river now. I'll show my complete and utter ignorance now. Pegnitz is the river. I've never even heard of it before. Obviously there's quite a few famous rivers that wind their way through Germany, and Pegnitz is actually not one I've ever heard of before, so there we go. What's that in the middle there? It's a very interesting looking structure. It looks like something that some kids have knocked together with a bit of scaffolding and some corrugated iron right in the middle of the river. Heaven knows what that is. But it's quite a pleasant area down here. Bars and cafes all along the side. Bit of a weir there, so it's obviously not navigable particularly. Well, I can see some little like canoes and so on up there that you can perhaps hire. And appears to be some kind of market over the bridge over there. So I'm going to just wind my way around slowly and just take the route this way. It's quite nice to hear down by the river. There's a walking tour just been just congregated over there. It's sometimes useful to just kind of hover around in their vicinity, and if they happen to be speaking in a language I understand. Oh, they've just come to an end, just giving their tour guide a little clap. So this must be the end of their walk. But it seems like a very nice place to end a walk, I have to say. So this appears to be the Altstadtfest, which to all intents and purposes is not completely unsimilar to the Christmas market. It's got very much the similar sorts of things: bars, food on sale, chocolate stalls, sweet treats, you name it. What we are missing at the moment is snow and ice, and there's nothing quite like walking around a German or European really. I've come across some Christmas markets in other places other than Germany that are equally as good, and they tend to run from November, middle of November, obviously right the way up until Christmas. But this is like a summer version of it. Plenty of people sat out there. Instead of glühwein and warm hot chocolates with some form of alcohol inside them, they seem to be drinking beer mostly tonight. Not a bad choice. It's quite a warm evening actually, as it is. Well, we're on the second half of September, so heading towards October fairly quickly. And there's some really nice smells, and it is a nice area actually down here. I'm very pleased I've found this to start with. And there's that strange structure. Really not sure what that's all about, but it's interesting anyway. I don't know if anyone kind of lives in it or it's just a piece of art that someone's popped up there. Right, getting into the nitty-gritty stuff here with the ribs and the pork and the I'll tell you what, I've said this many times, I wish I could put the smell onto onto the video, because that is I'm going to be coming back to one of these in a little while. I just need to build up my appetite a little bit more. It's packed out down here, which is good to see. Lots of lederhosen and dirndls. Is it ladies in dirndls? Dirndl doesn't sound like. Sounds like I'm not saying that right, but I think I am. Dirndls. Little live music going on here as well. Better not have this on for too long, otherwise YouTube will go into meltdown. A bit quieter over this end though. And interestingly, a nice sandpit in the middle of this square there for the really young ones to go and play in. Right, so I'm going to move away from there because the smells are absolutely irresistible. Can't really beat cooked meat or meat being cooked outdoors on open fires and grills and so on, and especially on a nice warm autumn evening like this. Anyway, I'm going to head off away from that area and carry on in a sort of a circular route and see what else we can find in this interesting city. I was wondering when the Lovelocks would appear. I suppose in an effort to stop people putting them on this bridge itself, they put a little stand here where you can pop your Lovelocks. It's not quite on the same level as the bridge, the railway bridge in Cologne, where there must be. Well, I don't know, but there must be more than 1 million on it. It's absolutely incredible. You have to see it to believe it. So, okay, this was the area of the. This was the area of the Old Town Festival. I'll just come back across the bridge now. I'm going to head along. And then head around this part of the old town towards the town hall. I think we're back to O'Shea's again in a moment. I'm going to walk straight past and straight ahead, so I kind of came from the left and went right past it earlier on. I'm going to go past and carry on along the river for a little while. In fact, there's the indoor bit for cold nights. So you can't get away from lovely smells. Coming up to another market here, which is mostly not food, it's other stuff, but yeah, there's certainly some nice looking food on offer as well. So let's have a little wander around. I think this is the Hauptmarkt, main market square, or main market. Bit of a mixture of stuff, to be fair. It's fun, isn't it? The area that was just more or less all food and drink was absolutely packed. This is a thinned out version of food and drink and other stuff. Yeah, I mean, again, the kind of things that you find at some of the Christmas markets. Stalls, yeah, with jewellery and bags and leather goods and sweet, I don't know what made me say that, sweet sweets and yeah, all those sort of chocolatey things. This is more of a traditional market really. I think it was worth mentioning actually about Germany as a whole. I'm not quite sure why this is the case, but most places you go to now in the world, certainly since the pandemic, even things like market stalls accept credit card, contactless and so on and so forth. But here in Germany it doesn't tend to be the case. I mean, I'm just looking around here and I can't see too many credit card machines or signs that suggest that they take credit cards, and when I've seen people paying for things, it's generally speaking with cash. So if you're going to come to these, or indeed if you come to Christmas markets, make sure you've got some euros on you, because you'll probably find while all the main shops, permanent shops, supermarkets and so on all take credit cards or contactless cards, these sorts of places do not, where you probably would find that they do. Now, I've just been totally contradicted here, because this particular one there has actually got a sign with Apple Pay and so on. So yeah, looks like you can pay with your card at this particular store, but yeah, I think on the whole probably not. It's a shame. That's a nice looking structure. Just gonna have a little, a raclette as well. Yeah, it's actually up this end of the market there's some quite interesting food options. I'm not actually entirely sure what this is, apart from it's a sort of a fountain, and it's yeah, it's shielded. You can't really get to it as such. It's interesting, interesting structure. Okay, so it's the Schönebrunn iconic fountain, and yeah. Looking on my map here, and just up here are the medieval dungeons. Now that sounds quite interesting, or an interesting thing to have a little look around at. I'm just going to go up and see if it's, I'm presuming it's something that you know, it's a paid entry, and I wouldn't have thought it'd be open this late into the evening, but I'm going to have a look anyway and see what it says about it. Trust me, that smoke coming out of the chimney there is also bringing out some extremely lovely meat smells. Bratwurst Hausler. Oh yeah. Sorry to you vegetarians, Germany probably isn't high on your list of places to come to. There are plenty of vegetarian and vegan options in the cities, but they don't half like their meat here. Well, the medieval dungeons appear to be in the Rathaus or town hall, which is just here, and it is all closed at the moment. Doesn't seem to matter where you walk here in the old town of Nuremberg. It seems to smell of sausages cooking, and mighty fine smell it is too. I find it strange. It's a Tuesday evening. It's not even the weekend, but it's really quite busy. A lot of people about during the early evening. The other thing that happens too as well, if I don't get run over by this car, is seems to be every little corner that you go round, you come to these beautiful little squares or corners, mostly surrounded by bars and cafes, and here seems to be another popular place too. Albrecht Dürer's house, apparently. I guess that's something you need to have a look around during the daytime as well. Well, that's in fact Albrecht Dürer's house there, not the one I originally was pointing at. Someone's been messing with those signs again. Well, I can see the sign on it now. I'm finding this city extremely fascinating already after just a few hours here wandering about, and looking forward to digging a lot deeper during the few days I've got here. So I'm panting slightly. It was quite a steep hill up from that last square. Appears to be some kind of park. Garden or Castle Gardens, and I'm guessing that sign says it closes at 1900. It's now 3 minutes to that time, so I'm just going to have a very quick look inside before I'm politely asked to leave. Imperial Castle, Nuremberg. To take in there actually. This definitely looks worthy of a return visit. At some point. Presumably you can that bullet holes up on the wall there. Yes, I think this is definitely a place to come back to over the next couple of days. Well, it's certainly a large and extensive old town. You can see, of course, where there was some destruction back in the 1940s, and there's been extensive rebuilding, and also places where rebuilding just hasn't happened and there's more modern things. But that's fairly typical of many European cities that were devastated during the Second World War, and on the whole most of them have been returned back to their original glory. If not in full, certainly in part, and you find that very much in evidence across Germany, with many cities now looking splendid, with the old buildings returned back to how they used to look. And Nuremberg is absolutely no exception at all. It's got a certain very calm, relaxed feel about it. We're in the golden hour now, really. The sun's just setting. It'll be dark, getting fairly dark in the next 30 minutes or so. So I'm just going to continue around in a big spiral, circle, whatever, back to fairly close to where I started earlier on, and just catch the last few points of interest before I call it a day. Right, so I'm going to call that a day for this little wander around the old town of Nuremberg. Just as the sun's setting, it's beginning to go dark. It's just got that nice little air about it, and I think it's time for me to go and find some of that hot cooked meat at that market we were walking around earlier on. So I hope you enjoyed this little walk around. There's going to be a few more videos of Nuremberg coming up, whatever I decide to go and visit over the next few days. And then I'll be travelling across Germany to Bremen in a few days' time, and be doing something similar from there. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, click the like, click subscribe and press the bell if you want to be notified of any future videos. Thanks again for watching. Cheers, bye for now.